precisions. Will it be an office, a store, a home? Be built out of steel, have an arch or a dome. It's architecture. It's architecture. Should it have an elevator? How many floors? How many chimneys? And how many doors? It's architecture. It's architecture. Should it hold 100 people? One family or two? It looks great to me. How's it look to you?
I hate it. I think it's a superb building. Only it looks like a plumbing system without a building.
I think it's a monstrosity.
I quite like it.
Doesn't mix in with what's around it.
Well, I think it's got its outside off and its inside in.
It's architecture. It's architecture. So check out the street. You're building too. There's something every day that's all around you called architecture. Architecture.
EW321 contact Architecture Wednesday. Stack it up. Show number 613, English Mix Channel M&E Channel 2, length 2835.
Today on 321 Contact.
Architecture. Stack it up. Did you ever try to build a tall, wide building with all your blocks were small? Okay, if it was like this, but do you think it's better this way? Well, my friend said I would try. Hey, let's try it this way. We can't because there's nothing in the middle to hold it. But there must be a way, you know.
Let's see if we get longer and taller at the same time.
Hey, guys, let's combine these blocks.
Okay.
Let's put the roof on top.
How about if we make it wider by moving the blocks apart one by one?
This one.
Hold on a second. We'll move this one out further.
Wait, how wide do you want this?
As wide as it can be.
Okay. All right. Wait, this is gonna slip. Oops. Let's try it again. But we can make it just so wide. You're putting weight on here, and then it goes down.
Yeah, because nothing's
I know how we could
together.
do it without doing it this way. How?
Let's move these over from your idea. An arch?
Yes, this is an arch. And this is how you put it. Now you put one by one. But you have to hold it.
Okay, I'll hold this side.
Okay. Hold this. You know, I went to this museum and they told about this arch. It was built, I think, in the medieval ages. And I forgot what this middle piece was called.
It's called a keystone.
Oh, yeah, that's what it was called.
And you see, if you pull the top piece out, everything will fall down.
In medieval ages,
The arches were made out of stone. So the keystone supports all the other parts.
Yeah, that's it. It's not the strongest, but it supports
It wedges them together.
yeah.
I think I know how come it does it. Because from the pressure from all these other blocks pressing up against these, it sticks together.
This is very, very strong
Yeah.
and wide.
I think this is so neat because, you know, they didn't put any glue or nails and it just stayed.
The Cathedral of St. John the Divine in New York City. It's almost 100 years old, but it's still under construction. Deborah and I want to know how it's being built. People have been building cathedrals for many hundreds of years, long before big steel beams and skyscrapers. This cathedral is 12 stories tall. The Statue of Liberty could stand up inside. It gives you a feeling of space and height. But there are no steel beams. It's made of individual stones stacked in piles. How do such tall, wide arches hold up the heavy roof? Excuse me, you work here?
Yes, I do.
Hi, my name's Hopi. I met John Walsh, chief engineer of the cathedral. This is the biggest arch I've ever seen. How does it stay up?
The arches are built in two pieces. The first piece is built like this, and it's supported temporarily with wood supports. The other arch is built this way, and it's also supported temporarily with wood supports.
And what goes in the middle?
When they come to the very end, the very last stone that they put in is the major stone that holds the whole arch together, and it's called the keystone. Once that's in place, all the weight of the ceiling that sits on the arch now makes each one of these little stones go into compression.
So it's pushing on here, the ceiling is, and it goes through the arch and spreads down into
The piers.
the piers. Okay.
Piers are the main structural elements of the cathedral. This is a pier, Hopi. The weight in each one of these piers is probably 200 to 300 tons.
Wow.
The piers take the weight of the roof down into the basement, and then through the basement 70 feet down into the ground where the bedrock is. And all the weight of the roof goes down into the bedrock.
We traced the arch all the way down to its feet.
This must be it. Is this the base of the arch upstairs?
Yes, it is, Hopi. It's called a foundation. It supports the pier above that carries all the weight of the roof. All the weight of the roof that comes down through the pier is eventually distributed through this pyramid-shaped foundation into the bedrock below.
How far down is the bedrock?
Well, the bedrock is about 20 feet below here.
So the pyramid keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger underground till it hits the bedrock?
That's correct. Now, come on down and we'll see some more of the cathedral.
Okay. John told me that there is a secret to making these arches stand up. As people tried to build cathedrals higher and wider, the weight of the roof became a problem. A roof pushes down on a building. That force is called compression. The compression is absorbed by the stones in the piers, but besides pushing down, the roof pushes out. And when cathedrals were built taller and wider, and as walls were opened up to make room for stained glass windows, this became a problem. To stand up to wind and other forces, the piers would have had to be made very wide, but that would limit the amount of space inside. The solution? Move some of the support outside the church. Build special arches called buttresses to carry some of the weight. This leaves tall, slender arches inside and strong support outside.
Well, Hopi, I brought you outside so you can see the buttresses.
Uh-huh.
They're those big, heavy walls that attach to the side of the cathedral. In addition to carrying the weight of the roof, the same way that the piers inside the cathedral do, they also prevent the piers inside from spreading outwards under the weight of the roof.
So they're pushing in?
Yes, they're pushing in.
And what are those things on top?
They're called pinnacles. They're very decorative, but they add a lot of weight on the top of the buttress, and it keeps the buttress from sliding outwards under the weight of the roof inside.
So the pinnacles, the buttresses, and the piers are all causing pressure, and that's what's holding the building up.
Yes, everything is in compression. All the stones are in compression. And by means of arches, the loads are distributed out and out and out, and eventually down into the ground.
I get it.
Now, just pretend this is a building. This is the roof, and these are the walls.
All right,
Yeah. The roof pushes down and out, and that's a problem.
So what do? You
push in the walls. But you can't hold all day, so you need these things to hold them up.
What are they called?
Buttresses.
What do they do?
Well, they push in the walls to support the whole structure or the roof.
That's neat.
beams ever higher, wider, stronger. Each new design challenges the architect and engineer. Can it be done? One challenge, trying to cover the widest possible space between supports. In early times, people spanned the distance by laying a beam across two uprights. There was a problem. Your opening could only be as big as your piece of wood or stone. So people found another way to span the distance, the arch. You could build arches tall and wide and get a lot of uninterrupted space inside. But still, people wanted more. Bracing beams and arches gave them extra strength. This worked pretty well. Then someone got the idea that you could hang the span from cables and go a long, long way. Like from Manhattan to Brooklyn. Back to getting a roof over your head. Then came a new kind of roof, held up by air. With this new roof, people could build really big and get huge amounts of space inside. Can it be done? It can.
You may not realize that your house is under a lot of tension and compression. Some parts of your house work like a rope. You can pull on a rope and it can take that pulling force. That's tension. You can try pushing on a rope, but it won't work. It's only strong in tension. Other parts of your house work like a stack of blocks. Unlike the rope, they can take pushing force. They're strong in compression. Remember pulling on the rope? Try that with the blocks. They just come apart. They're strong in compression or pushing, not pulling. Some parts of your house need to be strong in pushing and pulling. For instance, a beam, like a piece of wood that holds up your floor, or your elephant. A floor has to be able to hold weight. We'll put some stripes on this beam so you can see what happens to it. As the beam bends under the weight, watch what happens to the stripes. See how they get farther apart on the bottom? The bottom edge is getting pulled like the rope, but the top edge is pushed like the blocks. The stripes are pushed closer together. Tension and compression. Tension, compression. This kind of thing goes on in your house. It happens all the time, even if you can't see it. And even if you don't have any elephants.
While Hopi's finding out how the stones in the cathedral stack up, I'm in the stone yard, where they cut the stones. Alan Bird is master stonemason.
Yeah. Well, Deborah, this is one of the stones that's going to go up on the southwest tower.
What kind of stone is this?
It's limestone.
Why build with limestone?
Mainly because of its great strength. To build a structure as large as a cathedral, you need a material that can withstand tremendous pressures.
Oh, like because the stones are piled on top of one another.
Yes, indeed, and our tower goes 150 feet tall. So you can imagine the tremendous amount of weight that is attached to a structure of that size.
Alan, why is this stone shaped this way?
Well, if you can imagine, this is just part of a very, very large column. And as you can see, all these little circular parts here are colonnettes. So each piece goes on top one another, and so these columns, instead of just being this 1'2" or whatever it is, will in fact, one on top of the other, make up 40 feet, and that's where you start to see the columns.
Like those over there. It looks like a column already.
That's correct.
Put all the colonnettes on top of each other, and you get a column.
Hey, presto. Well, Deborah, now you can see the block, and this is how it comes to us from the quarry. Just like this.
Limestone is strong, but soft enough to cut. The huge chunks of stone from the quarry are cut into smaller blocks using diamond-embedded blades. Machines are used here, but after that, most of the cutting is done by hand. In the cutting shed, stone cutters chip away excess stone until the block matches a pattern traced on the stone. Can we see what it looks like, the tracing on the stone?
Sure.
Each stone has its own set of patterns. There it is, the same pattern. And here's a colonnette, traced right on the stone. Alan, what are these numbers for?
Well, every stone has a number, and it tells us exactly whereabouts in the building this stone's going to go.
You know exactly where this stone will be?
Every one.
Some of the stones are taken one step further. They are carved with all kinds of designs. Stone carvers get some of their ideas from books. They work from drawings and add their own ideas. Some designs are strange faces called grotesques. The stone carver makes a drawing of his or her design, then tries a clay model of it. You can see how this grotesque underwent some changes. The nose and teeth on the drawing didn't work well in 3D. So the stone carver changed the design for the final stone. The drawing and modeling help eliminate any problems before the final stone version. A stone like this takes about a week to carve. Are you going to make a 3D clay model out of this drawing?
Yes, I am. This is going 160 feet up in the air, and I have to have a clay model because it's a complicated drawing. And I have to know what I'm doing from a two-dimensional drawing to a three-dimensional clay model. Then I'll cut it.
And carve it on the stone.
That's right.
And then it becomes part of the cathedral.
And it'll be beautiful.
Thanks.
Okay.
People build ever higher, wider, stronger. Each new design challenges the architect and engineer. Can it be done? In 1963, people in St. Louis wondered, can you build an arch over 600 feet high? An arch made from 143 triangle-shaped segments. Will they fit together? Will they meet at the top? It looks good on paper, but can it be done? First, stainless and carbon steel sheets are made into 50-ton steel sandwiches. They're shipped to St. Louis. The foundation for the arch weights. The sections, each heavier than a locomotive, are lifted into place and welded together. In the making. 71 sections on each side and one in the middle. The Jefferson Memorial Arch towers 630 feet above the Mississippi. Can it be done? You bet.
Building a cathedral is a slow process. Construction on this one started in 1892.
What's happening over here?
That's a tower that's under construction. It's half completed. When it's finished, it will be one of our two bell towers.
Wow, how long will it take?
Well, let me show you on the plan here, Hopi.
Okay.
This is the tower that we're working on now, Hopi. At the end of the year, we'll have built 20 feet on that tower. The entire tower will take us 7 years to build.
So it's only 20 feet a year.
That's right. When we're finished with that tower, we're going to build this tower. This tower will take us 9 years to build.
Oh, wow. And then you're all done, right?
No, we're just starting. We have the 2 transepts to build on the church, and they'll take us 20 years to build. And when we're done with those transepts, we're going to build a major tower in the center part of the church. It'll be 40 stories high. That'll take us about 50 years to build.
So 7 years for this tower, 9 years for that tower, 20 years here, and 40 years for the big tower?
50 years for the big tower,
50
yes,
years.
that's correct.
Oh, that's a long time. That's 86 years, more than a lifetime.
It was my pleasure to show you around the cathedral.
Oh, thanks a lot.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Well, now you've seen all the pieces of the jigsaw puzzle. This is how I keep track of it all. In fact, every stone here you can see has a number, so we know exactly where it goes. In fact, this stone's going up right now.
If we're going to get up to the tower, I'd better find Hopi. We're 150 feet above the ground. This construction site has quite a view. Sylvia and the rest of the crew unload the stone using a system of chains and pulleys. They also bring up mortar or cement. It's not easy to move a stone that weighs 700 pounds. A bed of mortar is laid out. The stone will rest on the mortar while it's shifted into its exact position. The mortar acts more like a cushion than glue. It helps hold the stone somewhat, but it's the force of compression, the stone's weight pushing down, that will hold the stone in place.
You're making a bed of cement to cushion it.
Yes, this is a bed of cement to cushion the stone. And to
Smith and Fowler show us how it's done.
It's a 1/4 inch high. Okay, I'm going to take this chain, you're going to take that. We need more slack.
Need more slack.
All right. Now, Deborah, you got to spin the whole stone because we want it to fit the right way here. It only fits one way. Now, as we swing this over to there, first I'm going to raise it up in the air, and Fowler's going to put some water underneath it so that it won't dry the bed too fast. Because once the stone is set in place, we have to tinker around with it. Okay, so I'm going to lower the stone down, and Hopi, you and Deborah are going to push to the north.
Okay.
And Fowler's going to push to the east. And then we're going to go down so that this is going to touch the bed first here, and we'll get that sort of reasonably in the right place.
Okay.
Ready?
Okay. Okay.
1, 2, 3. Okay, now push all the way to the north. That's it. Good one. Keep pushing now. North. Beautiful. Okay, tap it a little bit as we go in now. Ready? All right, come on. Okay, take it easy. That's good.
Okay.
Now let's check it, and it's going to be level.
We use a tool called a level to check the position of the stone.
Yeah, it's perfect.
Great. Now let's see if it's level. That's plumb. She just did. Let's see if it's level across with this stone, and then.
Plumb is vertical and level is horizontal.
That's right, horizontal.
And it's perfect level, too.
Okay, that stone is set. Wouldn't you say, Mr. Fowler?
I think Anderson is set.
That new stone, like the rest of this cathedral, will stand here for a long, long time.
Today we've seen how one very large building, a cathedral, gets put together. A building may look like it's just standing there, but there are forces at work on it. Tension, the force of pulling, and compression, the force of pushing. A building must be able to bend, support weight, and stay standing. An arch is one way of spanning a distance. An arch is held together by the force of its own weight, but pull out the keystone and it falls. Sometimes an arch needs extra support. It may need to have its base deep in the ground, and it may need a buttress, a kind of brace for support. Without its buttress, it collapses. So a building may look like it's just standing there, but a lot of planning went into getting it to do just that, and that's called architecture. 321 Contact is a production of the Children's Television Workshop.
For a copy of a comprehensive 321 Contact Teacher's Guide, send a check for $5 to Children's Television Workshop, 321 Contact, Box TG, 1 Lincoln Plaza, New York, New York, 10023.